Good morning. My name is Josh Burton. I'm a teacher down in Byron, Minnesota, which is in the southeastern part of the state, about 5 minutes west of Rochester. Currently, I am teaching regular biology, college biology, and human anatomy and physiology. I've been in the district now for 9 years, and before that I taught in Rochester in a larger school district for 3 years before that. I grew up in southeastern Minnesota, which is right down next, right here where I'm at, in a small town by the name of Casson, Minnesota, and graduated from Casson Manorville High School in 2001. So if you're doing the math, I am 34 years old. I do have a lovely family here. My wife Jennifer, we've been married now for 11 years. We have our 2 beautiful children, my son Grayson, who is 6 years old, who is in 1st grade. My 3-year-old here is Eva. She is a little spirited little 3-year-old. She is our little Spitfire and love her to death. And our lovely old dog, who's now 10 years old, Griffin. You can start to see he's getting a little gray. But there's our family. It's actually part of our Christmas card that we had just sent out. So my 2 lovely kids, my son again, Grayson, he is a 1st grader, loving school. Right now he's huge into Pokemon and Minecraft and building. He wants to be an engineer. He loves to do anything he possibly can when it comes to building, and he really enjoys reading, which is a great thing right now. My daughter, she is right in his footsteps. She's trying to keep up as best she possibly can. They look so loving in this picture, but we don't see in the picture right after this is that she was grabbing his nose. So many of that have the families at home, you realize how quickly that these little photos can change. A little bit about myself. So as I stated it before, I graduated from Casson Manorville High School, which in 2001, which just is about 5 minutes west of where I currently teach. So my family is nice and close. My wife's family is also very close by. So family is very important to us. I've participated in a number of activities in and out of school. In fact, when I went off to college, and where I first went off to college, you guys can see here, is at UW River Falls. That's where I ended up getting my undergraduate degree in secondary education in biology and chemistry. Wasn't my first original choice, though. My original choice that I was trying to go into was actually I was going to be looking at being a doctor. My mother and father have worked at Mayo for over 30 years now, in fact 35 years. My dad is an assistant professor of medicine in GI through the University of Mayo. And my mother has worked in oncology research for the last 30 years, so in cancer research. So I've kind of grown up around the clinic and loved that atmosphere. But when I married into my wife's family, her mother was a teacher, and her grandmother was a teacher and a master teacher and principal. And so I just got into the knack in high school of trying to help some other students and mentor. My wife and I were high school sweethearts, so we were able to. I knew their family from back then, and I wanted to always help people, and one of my goals was to find a job that way. And I had a chance to be a student teacher, peer tutor that you might have in your high schools, and I was able to do some science-based lessons, things that I loved, anatomy lessons that I loved, to students, and I could really see them grow in their understanding. And that gave me the idea that not only could I still love the science that I have, but I also can help people in a different way instead of having maybe that pager on your hip and being on call. I do love my number one love is probably anatomy and physiology. I really enjoy the college biology and tying in and getting those aha moments of why things work the way they do. So River Falls is, again, where I first started to go to my undergraduate school, where I originally actually played college athletics. Went to go play some football and baseball there, but unfortunately we were cut after my freshman year due to Title IX, and I just focused in on my academics, where then I have, as I said, I switched my major from pre-med to regular education, and I haven't looked back. I've loved it ever since. As I said, I've been able to now marry the helping of students, helping everybody that I feel I can do with the love of science. So it's been very good for me. Along with that, I continue to want to try to improve. I did one of those Clifton Strength Finders, and I found out that one of my number one strength is learning. And so not only is there the love of learning within my science base, but also of education. So about 3 years after my undergraduate, I went right into my master's program at Winona State. So I have a master's in education, and I didn't stop there. I actually went on for another one in administrative leadership. So I am a licensed K-12 principal as well. As of right now, though, I have no ambition to leave the classroom. I really enjoy finding ways to help students learn. I love the pedagogy, figuring out how I can make sure every student can really grasp concepts that are even very difficult to do. But it's a challenge for me. I've been approached a number of times to try to lead and move into a different area, but it's hard to leave that classroom, the area that I really enjoy and am passionate about. At some point I will find my way into administration, but as of right now, I can't see myself going there. Some of the things I really enjoy doing with my kids is in the last 4 years I have been taking some trips with some students. I've taken 2 trips to Belize, where we've done 4 days in the middle of the rainforest, and then we've spent 4 days in the middle of the Caribbean doing some snorkeling and scuba diving. When we're in the rainforest, we're with some Mayan villagers, and we do some ethnobotany in the jungle. It's kind of crazy. In fact, the jungle has some cams up, and they show up about 14 different jaguars that roam the camp. So it's kind of neat. But we're with some shamans, and they're walking around, they're looking at some medicines and some pretty different neat things in Belize. And then, when you're diving the shelf, we're probably one of the best barrier reefs in the world, if not the best now, due to the Great Barrier Reef and the destruction happening there. It's an entirely different world down there when you're 30, 40, 50 feet below the ocean. On the right-hand side, this is the trip I just got back from. I took some students to... So there's myself in the middle. I took some students to Costa Rica, where we were able to visit, and I believe this is right out there, Arenal, where we went and saw the volcano. But there's a number of different excursions and things we're able to do. And in fact, in April, I will be taking a group of 14 individuals and parents to the Galapagos Islands, where we will be visiting the birthplace of Darwin, at least his theory of natural selection. So it'll be a very enjoyable time. It's kind of one of those science teacher dreams if you're able to get a chance to get there. So that's kind of exciting for us. A little bit else about myself. My background in biology, as I stated, I've been able to understand a lot of the biology content in terms of understanding curriculum and anatomy physiology. I feel very comfortable with that material. I haven't really had any online classes. When I was doing my undergraduate and master's programs, we did some ITV materials, but not very often do we use strictly online curriculum. So I'm excited to try to give this a shot and see how this works. Let's see, anything else that I forgot? Hopefully I've covered everything. I will be joining up with Module 1 with some of my team members that I'll be seeing there on, looks like, the fat deposition within the human anatomy and physiology. So hopefully I didn't bore you too much. Hopefully you have a great rest of your guys' day.